Hello, it's Joan Silva, and it is Tuesday, Tidy Up Tuesdays with Joan. Today's topic, whether you're ready or not, is which came first, the chicken or the egg? And how the heck does this relate to tidying up anyway? Good questions. So let me start with a brief story. Let me just say, oh, hey, Janice, you were able to join me after all. Yay, hello. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? But let me start with the story. I was driving down Pittsburgh Antioch Highway, and there's this big, huge billboard, which of course is meant to get the attention of those that are local. And it said on it, let's see, it said debt and depression, question mark. So I blew by this and I thought to myself how many years I've spent helping people release debt in their lives, and it definitely brings on lots of emotion, guilt, and depression. So as I'm driving along, I thought, well, which came first, the debt or the depression? Good question. Which then, of course, gets my little mind a ticking, and it says, hello. How does this relate to tidying up in life? Not just in money, but in things and other aspects of your life. Because after all, I love to help others discover the joy of tidying up. So I have this billboard behind me. By the way, check out my, my billboard up there has all my tidy up gang, all the different archetypes, cartoons, however you want to call them. They've been graphically designed and drawn based on an intuitive gathering with an artist, T.J. Shanks. But there they are. And I just recently added, let's see if I can point to her, Jet the Witch. And she's the Tidy Up Witch. So as I'm sitting there thinking, okay, debt and depression, how does this relate to tidying up? And I came up with this list. And I was trying to be really kind of cute and have, like the D and the D and the C and the C and And I have here chaos and clutter, avoidance and anxiety, procrastination and piles, excuses and excess, stress and stuff. And I started to look at those things like excuses and excess. Which came first? You can Google chicken the egg and come up with many different versions of what came first. And you have to decide whether or not you're talking about two chickens creating another chicken, which according to science, that's not how it happened, or what's within the egg is a chicken. So that's the same thing here with our debt and depression. What caused us to do the debting in our lives? Was it depression? Was it something deeper, core, and then you used credit and other ways to get what you wanted to satisfy? Well, that's what we do with things and relationships and other life events. So let me welcome you. Thank you, Janice, for joining me after all. And Nora Kundan, K-U-N-D-A-N, Kundan. Love the name. Wanza, it's been forever. We were in a class together, Funnel Fanatics, and met there. And Rowena, thank you for joining me. So here's the thing. We have to look at when we have a pile, where did it come from? And I partnered it with procrastination just because I was playing with two P's or two A's, two D's to see if I could make them go together. However, you have to look at what caused your piles. Was it procrastination that started it and then the piles mounted? Or did the piles show up and then you procrastinated because it felt so overwhelming? Hey, Gwen and Judith, thank you for joining me. And Wanza, yes, yay, yay, together we are again. So share with me, is there something that you've noticed? Whether it's procrastination caused the effect or whether it's that caused the procrastination. Same thing with, I have here, excuses and excess. Did we make lots of excuses, and before we know it, the piles and the excess grew? Hey, Lexi, my elder dog, came in. She's like, what you doing, Mom? Let's hang out together. So Wanza says, I've procrastinated and then the pile showed up. Now I'm overwhelmed. Exactly. And we have to then say, okay, what caused us to procrastinate? Is it in a particular area that we procrastinated? Or was it actually just a general personality approach to life? Some of us do approach it that way. And I want to share with you, when it comes to filing papers, procrastination kind of is a benefit, because when the pile starts to pile up in papers, most of it, whoosh, we don't need to keep. So if we let it sit there long enough, we finally go, I don't want to file all this stuff. And we can actually deep six most of it. You want to know more about that? Let me know. I have an actual article about deep sixing almost everything you have in paper. Some of it you scan, but most of it you don't have to keep. So procrastination sometimes works, doesn't it? Anybody else want to share? Do you have stress and stuff? How about the chaos and clutter? Sometimes the chaos begins a life event or lots of piles up of things. I don't mean piles as in things. Piling up of, I don't know, family issues, emotional issues, things to do, busyness, whatever that is, whatever chaos comes up. That could happen first, stir you up, and then the next thing you know, you have clutter, chaos and clutter. Which came first? Did you put the clutter there? Not paying attention to it? Remember 21 days. Last week I said you go nose blind. That means you go visually blind, and before you know it, you get used to it. Did that come first? And then chaos resulted? Because stuff and things do cause chaos. Much like when you walk in the front door, you want to clear a pathway up the front, into your doorway, into your entryway. And if there's stuff there, let's say you have a table there and you pile up your mail, or you pile up a bunch of stuff, clothing and coats and shoes, there's no way that energy can flow through there. So what came first? Obviously the clutter, or the area that got cluttered or piled or actually closed. Then the stress of not having free flow into our homes, into our money lives, into other energy areas of our lives happened. You can see it both ways. But let me give you a little quick tip as I close this call today, this live stream today, is that it doesn't matter which came first, sort of like the chicken and egg. Just have eggs. We have chickens. Do we really care? Unless we're scientific or researcher types, we probably don't. Or like Joan, you want to go find out what it's like? How did it relate to my topic? Then I had kind of fun watching a couple cute real YouTube videos. But here's the thing. It doesn't really matter which came first. Whether or not the chaos or the clutter came first. Whether the piles or the procrastination came first. Whether the debt or depression came first. Let's face it, if we're in depression, we want to deal with that. It's not something we want to sit with and just ignore. And yet, by the way, often if we stir and change and tidy and purge and let go of the piles, the clutter, the debt, let's see, what else did I put here? The excuses, the stuff. If you actually start to let go of those, didn't suggest it all at once, however, you start to let go. It's amazing how suddenly the depression, the chaos, the busyness even, the excess and the excuses, the stress, and the procrastination and avoidance and the anxiety suddenly goes away or lifts. So sometimes it isn't quite that miraculous, yet it's amazing how you just move a little bit of something over here and life wants to balance and it starts to change over here. So thank you for joining me for Tidy Up Tuesdays. I do an every 2-week email newsletter about Tidy Up Tuesdays. It is on Tuesdays every other week. This next week is something that I will not be doing on a live stream or on Facebook. It's called Someday-itis. Do you have the someday syndrome? If you'd like to read that, I also did a video you will enjoy. Not that you enjoy seeing Joan, but you know I do have fun with this. And it is a passion of mine. If you'd like to have that Tidy Up Tuesday newsletter next week, December 5th, can you believe it's already December? Then please let me know. Joan@joansilva.com. You can get there and sign up for it under the Tidy Up Tuesday tab. You can put a little message down here, say I'd like to have that Tidy Up Tuesday, Joan, or private message me. Great, would love to hear from you. So next week's Tidy Up Tuesday in email will be about someday-itis. Do you have that? By the way, there's no shot or medicine to ward it off. So what is that about? How do we take care of that? And in the meantime, I'd like you to just pay attention to the piles, the stuff, the debt, the excess, and notice that there's an other side to it that if you shift that one, it's amazing how this one suddenly gets taken care of. I'm Joan Silva, joansilva.com. I hope you'll join me for next week, Tidy Up Tuesdays, and or an email. Would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me, and tidy up your Tuesday.